Eyes are the window to the soul. It's a metaphorical sentence in our world, but in the world of Elden Ring, it's quite literal. Eyes show faith and alliances. They change according to what you do and sometimes according to what you eat. But some characters have more emphasis on the eye, or in this case, the absence of an eye. What does that mean, and what can it tell us about Messmer and Saint Trina? In this video, we will go over the meaning of the closed eye and try to understand Messmer and his faith. First, looking into the various factions and their corresponding eye features, we would know that they represent faith. Grace of gold marks the followers of the Golden Order, its absence marks the tarnished, the serpent-like eyes mark those who practice dragon communion, so on and so forth. We can learn of that clearly from various item descriptions and quests, not just environmental storytelling. But in the entirety of Elden Ring, there is no mention of the emphasis of having a closed eye, which is quite weird considering some of the most important characters in Elden Ring share this feature. At first, people thought that Ranni and Melina are somehow connected, judging by that feature, even going further as saying that they are the same person. But after the DLC trailer and the introduction of Messmer the Impaler, things gets more complicated. It seems this concept is more deeper than Ranni and Melina, more deeper than just a mere connection between both characters. I represent to you the Eye of Horus and the Eye of Ra. You may have seen it before in various media. Just like the world of Elden Ring, ancient Egyptians set a big emphasis on eyes. The Eye of Ra and the Eye of Horus plays a major role in ancient Egyptian religion and daily life. But what does it mean? The Eye of Horus is the left Widget eye, while the Eye of Ra is the right Widget eye. In Elden Ring, Ranni's left eye is the open one, so it would represent the left Widget eye, or the Eye of Horus. And indeed we find the Eye of Horus in Egyptian mythology represents the moon. And it's the most logical thing for Ranni to only have her left eye open. She isn't just a follower of the moon, she shunned all other faith for the sole belief in her dark moon. And From Software showed that in the most literal way by closing her right eye completely in favor of the left one, in a direct relation to her faith. But what does the right eye represent? The Eye of Ra, or the right Widget eye in ancient Egyptian mythology, represents the sun. Ra is the sun god and even considered the main god in Egyptian mythology in his Atum form. The sun was the most important thing in ancient Egypt. It was the source of light, heat, and life itself. The sun is crucial for growing crops. As civilization started with agriculture, it's clear why the ancients held the sun in such high regard as the source of life itself. But in Elden Ring, the source of light and life is not the sun, it's the earth tree. And therefore we can make the conclusion that the right eye here would represent faith in the earth tree and a connection to it somehow. That would fit very nicely with Ranni having her right eye closed. As we said, she completely abandoned everything in favor of her dark moon. We have two characters with only the right eye open, Melina and Messmer the Impaler. And indeed they seem very connected to the earth tree. Melina said that she was born at the feet of the earth tree, and she had various powers that we can see if you summoned her in the Morgoth boss fight. Melina uses various unique spells which fall in the category of ancient earth tree incantations. The sigil is very clearly the same as other spells in that category. She even uses a spell that spawns a sprout of the earth tree. But perhaps the most important thing that Melina does to the earth tree is burning it down. We will come back to that in a moment. In one of the endings, Melina doesn't sacrifice herself to burn the earth tree, and very interesting things happen. Of course, I'm talking about the Frenzied Flame ending. In that ending, after destroying the tree completely and probably the entire lands between, Melina appears. But she's different. All of us watched in surprise, her closed eye opening to reveal a glowing eye. This was a mind-blowing moment because of its obvious relation to the glow-eyed queen, but that awesome moment made us overlook something. Melina's usual open eye was changed as well. It becomes clouded in a way. In the light of what we established, this is very logical. The Earth Tree was destroyed and Melina embraced the power of destined death, which resulted in her right eye reflecting the destruction of the Earth Tree.
Those stripped of the grace of gold shall all meet death in the embrace of Messmer's flame.
Going to Messmer, we hear him in the trailer says that he will kill everyone stripped of the grace of gold. The grace of gold itself originates from the Earth Tree. We already established in an old video that Messmer is based off a Mesopotamian deity of vegetation, war, and underground. In that video we discovered the in real life inspiration of Messmer and discovered that this deity name translates to the Lord of the Good Tree, or the Lord who make the trees grow right, linking him quite clearly to the planting of the Earth Tree that we know Marika did in the Shadowlands. If you didn't see that video, I highly suggest you watch it after that one. It's incredibly important. Going back to the Eye of Ra, we would find a very important detail. As we said, the sun god was considered the main deity of ancient Egypt, and the Eye of Ra represented the most destructive power in the world, the power of the sun. In one myth, Ra became old and the Egyptians mocked him, so in a moment of rage, he unleashed his eye. The eye manifested in the form of a goddess and killed 10,000 people every single day, in a testament of the pure destructive power of the eye. Returning to Elden Ring, what do you think is the most destructive thing you can do in the lands between? You guessed it, burning the Earth Tree. Returning to Melina's most important power, which is her ability to burn the Earth Tree, in that light we can predict that Messmer possesses the same ability as Melina, hence the open right eye. And again, we went over that in Messmer's video, where we speculated that he may have tried to burn the Earth Tree before. The more we dig, the more we find that he is tied to the Earth Tree. But you may ask a question. There are many people that are connected to the moon and the Earth Tree. Why only those three characters have the closed eye? The Eye of Horus/Ra doesn't just represent the moon and the sun. The Eye of Horus/Ra are protective symbols. The Eye of Horus specifically is most widely used as a symbol of protection in the afterlife, usually decorating the walls of pharaoh tombs and important temples. Ancient Egyptians even made amulets based on the shape to protect themselves. We can read here, in the Osiris myth, the offering of the Eye of Horus to Osiris was the prototype of all funerary offerings. Osiris was Horus' father and the king of Egypt before being usurped by his brother Set. Osiris was murdered by his brother and became the lord of the underworld. Later, Horus avenged his father and took back the throne from his uncle Set. So in order for safe passage to the underworld, Egyptians offered its god Osiris an eye. In a metaphorical way, of course. But that made me think, what if Elden Ring took that in a more literal way? What if the price of having ties to the spirit realm is sacrificing an eye? Sacrificing an eye is actually a common theme in mythology. We already mentioned the myth where Ra sends his eye to punish humanity. And in the battle between Horus and Set, Horus will lose his left eye, which is the origin of the symbol. Going to Norse mythology, we would find this theme as well. Odin, the All-Father, sacrificed his eye to the well of Mimir in order to obtain more knowledge. The act of sacrificing an eye, which at first glance seems like it's scribbling to Odin's perception, turns out to be the greatest enhancement for perception. We can read here, that day, Odin saw the future more than any god had ever seen before. Things that could be changed and those that could not. was only one eye, he now saw better than he had ever before with two eyes. The insight he gained was far beyond description, and he had more to ponder than he ever imagined. The theme of eyes and forbidden knowledge is even present in Elden Ring. Gideon is presented to us as the all-knowing. He actually uses us most of the game to acquire more knowledge, and at the end he reaches a terrifying conclusion. No tarnished can become Lord. We are all doomed to suffer eternal torment. That's what Marika wanted from us. Of course he was wrong, but the point is, this theme of reaching some kind of forbidden knowledge is associated with eyes. Gideon's symbol is the eye. I want to talk about a couple of other characters, mainly Shabiri, Saint Trina, and Hyetta. Let's start with Shabiri. As the most important character related to the frenzied flame and the one who possessed Yura, Shabiri is a very mysterious being. Is he a person or a demon? Or what exactly? His pose is very interesting as well. He covers both his eyes with his hands in a very symbolic way. As mentioned before in the lore community of Elden Ring, Shabiri is the name of the demon of blindness in Judaism. This may explain how he can possess dead bodies kind of, but why is he covering his eyes? I mean, why is chaos associated with blindness? Ancient Egyptian mythology may have been the inspiration of this. In Egyptian myth, the world needs to be in a state of order, and the forces of chaos is fighting against that. Blasphemy is mentioned to bring about blindness upon an individual. Order and chaos is the main theme in Egyptian myth, and I will go over that in relation to the greater will and frenzied flame very soon. Going back to blindness, it seems like the concept of blindness itself may be hinting at the state of refusing everything and only embracing chaos. This concept of faith being stored in the eye is prominent along Elden Ring. Another very important character to the frenzied flame ending is Hyetta. She's a beam that possesses the dead body of Irina, and again, Irina was actually blind, which plays more into this concept of relating blindness with chaos. Perhaps that's why Yura was chosen as well. He was going blind himself.
I'm afraid I'm running out of time. The worm-like writhing that has long plagued the back of my eyes is spreading to my brain and heart.
Going back to Hyetta, you need to give her Shabiri grapes in order to advance her questline. And later we find that those grapes are actually human eyes. But not just any human eyes, they are infested with chaos. Those grapes guide Hyetta to the frenzied flame, but in a bigger twist, we, the tarnished, may have been eating eyes all along. The golden runes we pick up and consume are actually eyes themselves. Let's look at this GIF. The stronger the golden rune, the more it looks like eyes blessed with the grace of gold. And considering we picked those up from fallen enemies, skulls, and cemeteries, this is very logical. Also, enemies with glowing eyes give more runes. So your faith is quite literally stored in your eyes. Consuming eyes with the grace of gold give runes, and consuming those with chaos guides you to the frenzied flame. Going to another very mysterious yet incredibly important character, especially to the DLC, Saint Trina. She is theorized through various item descriptions to be the alter ego of Miquella. There is even a cut quest that explicitly say she is Miquella himself. What I found very interesting about that character in regard to what we established is that she is depicted with a single eye symbol. This is on the Saint Trina torch, but why is she depicted that way? I think this may be connected to the spirit realm. As we discussed, Saint Trina is known for sleep magic and visiting people in dreams. So could she have a closed eye as well? Dreams are associated with the spirit realm in myth, And we know after the DLC trailer that Miquella divested himself of his flesh, but he wasn't the first. Both Melina and Ranni are bodiless. This got me thinking that he may have acquired a closed eye himself. I mean, we never got a front shot of Miquella in the trailer or the artwork. It's always from his back, so why is that? Why is From Software deliberately hiding Miquella's face? Could it be because he acquired a closed eye himself, which would tie into the plot of the DLC? We will see. Hit the like and subscribe button if you enjoyed, and tell me in the comment section what you think. See you next time. Until then, farewell, fellow Tarnished.